Your entire DIY van build is only as strong as its foundation. I'm Christopher, and this is the High Top Transit Channel. In today's episode, we are talking floors. There are a million different ways to do this, but I'm breaking down the exact materials I chose, the logic behind the layout, and the step-by-step process of putting it all together. If you're building out your own rig or just want to follow along on this journey, take a second to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. I promise I will respond. Now let's get to work.
While there are a variety of methods for achieving a solid foundation in a van, ultimately it comes down to what you'll be using your van for. Because I live in Southern California, you probably think I do not need a Four Seasons van. However, my plans have always been to do extended stays in both hot and cold climates. The temperature range I wanted my van to be comfortable in is anywhere from 0 to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Given the broad spectrum of temperatures that I'll be camping in, I decided it's paramount that I build a floor that is not only strong, but also well insulated and able to handle temperature and moisture fluctuations. Of course, I've done a lot of research in this department, and I've seen a variety of different methods people use to achieve this. After my research and talking with various van builders, I've decided to go the floating floor route, in which layers of material are stacked on top of each other to form one solid base. A major factor and recurring theme you will come across when building a van is weight. You must be weight conscious throughout the entire build for safety as well as fuel economy. So it's no surprise that I wanted my flooring material to be as light as possible while still maintaining strength and proper insulation. Another very important factor in van building is height. You want to be able to stand up inside of your van and not be limited by your floor or ceiling material. So keeping all these things in mind when you're planning your floors is good practice. You will soon learn the materials and thicknesses I went with to make sure I took all of these variables into consideration. Let's start with the base layer, or the layer that will be on the bottom in direct contact with the metal van floor. You will notice an obvious and important obstacle almost immediately when looking at any van's floor: the ridges. There are a variety of ways to get around these and still construct a level, strong, and well-insulated floor. Sometimes you'll see people building framing or furring strips to create a solid structure to then insulate inside of and lay plywood on top of. This is a tried and true method used in residential construction, but it comes at a cost of a couple of the variables that we talked about before. Things like weight and height, for example. For this reason, I decided to go a different route with my base layer. Let me introduce you to Minicell. This is a cross-linked polyethylene XLPE closed cell foam. It has an extremely fine, smooth surface texture, and it is completely waterproof, highly buoyant, chemically stable, and resistant to mold and mildew. Wow, who wouldn't want this on the base of their floors? Additionally, it is super lightweight and provides a great thermal break in relation to any other materials in this thickness. For me, it was a no-brainer to use this stuff, and I found a great website that supplies it cheaper than anyone else. Link will be provided in the video description. I decided to get a couple rolls of this stuff in 1/2 inch thickness for the valleys and then 1/16 inch for the ridges. The hardest part will be cutting it all up into strips and gluing it down to the van floor. The adhesive I'll be using is called 3M90. It is a strong adhesive that I'll be using to attach the insulation to the walls and ceiling in a later episode. For the next layer, I knew I needed a strong, flat, and lightweight material that would also give me the highest R value possible. One thing you will inevitably hear in any discussion related to insulation is R value. The R value is a measure of thermal resistance used in construction and home improvement. It quantifies how well an insulating material, window, or wall resists the conductive flow of heat. Using a sliding scale where an R value of 1 is lower or less resistance to heat flow than an R value of, say, 5 or 6. Now, it is highly debated across the van building community how much R value matters when it comes to your floors. Walls and ceilings seem to be a different story, and not much debate is present on the necessity of high R value in those areas. Nonetheless, I felt it was important and worth it to put some thought into the R value of my floors. So without further ado, meet XPS foam, aka extruded polystyrene foam. This is rigid closed cell insulation material available in 4x8 boards and a variety of different compression strengths and thicknesses. Because it is closed cell, it lacks any tiny voids, which helps it resist moisture, which is a huge plus. It has an R value higher than anything else in its class, coming in around R5 in the 1-inch thickness, which is what I got. Like I mentioned before, it comes in a variety of compression strengths, which are measured in PSI and labeled as 150, 250, and so on. It was important for me to get the strongest possible variant available in 1 inch, which is the 250 or 25 PSI rated board. Unfortunately, it is not sold at my local Lowe's or Home Depot, so I had to do some digging to find a local supplier in my area. One tip I can share is to call either Kingspan or Owens Corning customer service and ask them if there are any suppliers in your area. That is how I found these XPS boards in the thickness and strength I needed. For the top layer, I knew I needed some sort of strong, flat plywood, but I was unsure what kind and what thickness to go with. Many people swear by hardwood, such as Baltic birch, but I felt it was overkill for this application and wanted to see if I could find something cheaper and just as effective. I visited my local lumber yard and was stoked to meet the owner, walk around with him, and discuss my project a bit. He recommended a couple products to me, and I ultimately chose to go with this 1/2-inch ACX plywood. It is 5-ply, which is comparable to birch. It's lightweight, and it uses exterior rated glue holding the plies together. It's also sanded completely flat and smooth on one side and decently on the other. It was important to me to have at least one side completely flat and smooth, as I plan on doing a laminate top layer as the final step. Sure, I could have went with 3/4, but it would have added a lot more weight and also increased my overall width of the floors, which I was trying to avoid. Now that you have been introduced to the layers, let's see how they all come together. The first thing I did was laid in the original rubber mat that came with my van to get a rough measurement and create a template for cutting my foam board and wood. Next, I went around the perimeter and took measurements of certain sections that needed to be extended a bit, mainly at the rear doors and the side step of the van. I then removed the mat, rolled it up, and stored it for the time being until I was done cutting and gluing down my Minicell base. This part was surely the toughest and most time-consuming, so I went ahead and cut the pieces and did a time-lapse of gluing them in place. Phew, that was not fun nor easy. The next step is to lay out all of the layers of your floor in a stack with the plywood on the bottom, XPS foam in the middle, and the rubber mat on top. Before laying out the XPS foam layer, I remembered the importance of staggering the seams of the layers to ensure stability and strength. The easiest way to achieve this is to cut one foam board in half lengthwise. You then start your foam layer with one of the cut pieces, followed by 2 regular pieces, and ending with the other cut piece. This puts your plywood seams at 4 and 8 feet, and your foam board seams at 2, 6, and 10 feet. The next step was to trace the outline onto the foam board using a Sharpie and minding the extension areas as needed. I then cut the foam and test fit the pieces to make sure I did not screw anything up. I simply repeated the process with the plywood. It was now time to sand and seal the wood. After researching many options for sealing plywood, I decided to go with Bullseye 123. It's labeled as a primer, but prevents mold and mildew, which is the number one thing I was concerned about growing beneath my floors. The fact that the plywood I got uses exterior rated glue in between the plies is also comforting. I did one coat on the faces of the boards and 2 coats on the edges, leaving the seam edge bare for wood glue and biscuit slots later. After sealing all the wood, I then reassembled the pieces in the van and drew a couple marks on the plywood seams, 8 inches apart, for where I'll be cutting and installing biscuits. I then took the plywood back out to cut the biscuit slots. The biscuit cutter is a little tricky to work with, so make sure you practice on some scrap before committing to the cuts. After I made my cuts, I went ahead and installed the biscuits with wood glue only in the edges of plywood that would be going in the van first, leaving the slots open for the adjoining plywood edges. Once the slots were cut and biscuits glued in place, I knew it was time for the permanent install. I began by laying in the foam boards, followed by the plywood. This part was a bit tricky, and you have to be strategic and timely in applying the wood glue to the adjoining edges. I then went through and applied Great Stuff spray foam in the perimeter gaps of the floor where it meets the van walls, ultimately letting this cure and coming back to trim flat with a blade. I also sanded the excess wood glue from the seams of the plywood and reapplied sealant as needed. For the finishing layer of my floors, I decided to go with G-Floor Mini Coin Vinyl. It comes in a 17 by 7 foot roll and is a commercial grade material mainly used on garage floors. I chose this because it is a durable yet affordable option and was delivered to my door for under $300 from Home Depot. Plus, it has a muted black aesthetic that I think will match up well with my interior wood features down the line. I rolled out the vinyl on my back patio and laid in my original rubber mat on top to trace the outline with a white paint pen. I then went around and cut out the shape with a blade, leaving a healthy 1/4 inch gap all the way around just to be safe. The next step was to roll out the vinyl in the van and thoroughly clean both the backing and the plywood underneath before applying my adhesive. I decided it is best to tackle it in 2 stages, pulling back half the roll to clean and glue down before moving on to the second half. The adhesive I chose to use is called Ultra Bond 373, and I applied it to the plywood with a short nap paint roller. This is pressure sensitive adhesive with a setup time of 30 to 60 minutes, so I had some time to let it set up before folding down my vinyl. Once it felt tacky without transferring to my fingers, I rolled down the vinyl and used a baker's rolling pin to apply pressure and expel any air bubbles present. I simply repeated the process for the other half of the floor. After I had the floor completely glued down, I rolled it all out one last time for good measure and let it cure overnight. The final stages of my floor involved running a bead of silicone caulk along the walls to seal the vinyl. I also purchased aluminum stair nosing or edging to trim out the side step stairwell as well as the rear door. I got a 5-pack off Amazon and had just enough to finish these areas with minimal waste. I did forget about the front edge, so I had to run to Lowe's and grab one more piece of angled aluminum to finish it off. Overall, this project was a doozy, but I had fun and I learned a lot along the way. The best part is that I now have a solid foundation that I can build from. In the next video, I will be doing an unboxing and installation of my Orion roof rack, so stay tuned. If you made it this far, I applaud you and sincerely thank you for your time. Drop a comment if you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow me on all platforms under High Top Transit. Until next time, stay high.